Now, here is the grammar rule that you can use while you are talking. Remember, you got to have the grammar rules, the pronunciation, and the vocabulary to sustain your conversation. I wish I could say some nice words and cool you down, but here is the thing, you have to go deep into your practice to develop your skills. We post here the basics of grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary. So hit the subscribe button and bell icon in order to receive the other videos and increase your ability to speak. Also, contact us to see how easy and cheap it is to enroll in our teaching program, where you can have videos, exercises, and books to support your work and to increase your performance. And share this video with your friends and help them out too. Text superlative adjectives. A superlative adjective expresses the extreme or highest degree of a quality. We use a superlative adjective to describe the extreme quality of one thing in a group of things. We can use superlative adjectives when talking about 3 or more things, not 2 things in the example below. Biggest is the superlative form of the adjective big, a BC, as the biggest formation of superlative adjectives. As with comparative adjectives, there are 2 ways to form a superlative adjective: short adjectives, add est, long adjectives, use most. We also usually add the at the beginning. Short adjectives, 1-syllable adjectives old, fast, 2-syllable adjectives ending in y happy, easy, rule, add est old the oldest, variation. If the adjective ends in e, just add st late the latest, variation. If the adjective ends in consonant, vowel, consonant, double the last consonant big the biggest, variation. If the adjective ends in y, change the y to I happy the happiest, long adjectives, 2-syllable. Adjectives not ending in y modern, pleasant, all adjectives of 3 or more syllables expensive, intellectual, rule, use most modern the most modern, expensive the most expensive. With some 2-syllable adjectives, we can use est or most, quiet the quietest most quiet, clever the cleverest most clever, narrow the narrowest most narrow, simple the simplest most simple, exception. The following adjectives have irregular forms: good the best, bad the worst, far the farthest furthest. Use of superlative adjectives. We use a superlative adjective to describe one thing in a group of 3 or more things. Look at these examples. John is 1.75 m. David is 1.80 m. Chris is 1.85 m. Chris is the tallest. Canada, China, and Russia are big countries. But Russia is the biggest. Mount Everest is the highest mountain in the world. If we talk about the 3 planets Earth, Mars, and Jupiter, we can use superlative adjectives as shown in the table below. Diameter, kilometers, Earth 12,760, Mars 6,790, Jupiter 142,800. Jupiter is the biggest. Distance from Sun, million kilometers, Earth 150, Mars 228, Jupiter 778. Jupiter is the most distant from the Sun. Length of day, hours, Earth 24, Mars 25, Jupiter 10. Jupiter has the shortest day. Moons, Earth 1, Mars 2, Jupiter 16. Jupiter has the most moons. Surface temp. Degrees Celsius, Earth 22, Mars, -23, Jupiter, -150. Jupiter is the coldest. When we compare one thing with itself, we do not use the England is coldest in winter. Not the coldest, my boss is most generous when we get a big order. Not the most generous. Now, here is the grammar rule that you can use while you are talking. Remember, you got to have the grammar rules, the pronunciation, and the vocabulary to sustain your conversation. I wish I could say some nice words and cool you down, but here is the thing, you have to go deep into your practice to develop your skills. We post here the basics of grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary. So hit the subscribe button and bell icon in order to receive the other videos and increase your ability to speak. Also, contact us to see how easy and cheap it is to enroll in our teaching program, where you can have videos, exercises, and books to support your work and to increase your performance. And share this video with your friends.
Schools reopened in parts of Jakarta, Indonesia's capital, for the first time in more than a year on Monday. Schools that had been shut by the coronavirus were permitted to begin reopening as cases decreased. A total of 610 schools that met guidelines set by the Jakarta Education Agency reopened their doors, although many safety measures are still in place. In-person schooling will be mixed with distance learning. In-person learning will slowly increase as the government studies the situation. Young children will go to school 3 days a week. Middle school children will go for 4 days. And high school students will go for a full week of 5 days. City officials at first planned to reopen schools in June, but they postponed the start date when the Delta variant struck and infections increased. We have passed the peak of the second wave of COVID-19 infections, Jakarta Vice Governor Ahmad Riza Patria said Monday. He also said that officials hope to reopen all schools by January. There are 5,341 schools for students of all ages in Jakarta, the government says. I feel nervous, said Akila Malawa, a 12-year-old student going to class for the first time in more than a year. But I'm so happy to see my friends again, she added. I hope the coronavirus in Indonesia will end so I can go to school and meet friends every day, said her classmate, Amalwin Harjodi Sastra. Schools in several other Indonesian cities also reopened Monday. As schools restart, government guidelines have changed many class traditions. Talking in class is not permitted, and face coverings must be worn at all times. Students cannot leave class during breaks, and classes are smaller and held in 2 shifts. Teachers must be vaccinated. The Health Ministry reported 5,436 new infections on Monday, the lowest daily total since June 9th. They have decreased since new cases peaked on July 15th, when more than 56,000 were recorded. The city of Jakarta was once the country's COVID-19 center. Now, it has recorded decreases in active and new cases since mid-July. Active cases have decreased from about 100,000 to below 8,000 a day. The Central Jakarta Health Service says the number of patients in several Jakarta hospitals is now below 30%. The government says restrictions on public activities reduced the number of infections. Now, they are being eased. Officials have reopened places of worship and shopping areas. Outdoor sports events returned with some limits, and people must show they are vaccinated to enter. Indonesia began vaccinations earlier than many other countries in Southeast Asia. Last month, the country started giving shots to those between 12 and 18 years old. It aims to vaccinate more than 208 million of its 270 million people by March 2022. I'm Mario Ritter Jr.
remember to go to the description and check the links for Canadian companies searching for employees outside of Canada. Also, you will have a link for our contact in the description. Since you only can count on yourself, make your inscription and hit the like and the bell icons to receive our latest videos. 3. Exercise. Words in this story, variant, different in some way from others of the same kind. Peak. The highest level, classmate, a member of the same class in a school, college, or university. Shift. The scheduled period of time during which a person works. Worship. To show respect and love for God, or for a God especially by praying, having religious services. Tell us your questions and pretty soon, you will see what we have to say. Leave your comments about this video and we will know what you like and what we can do to better help you. Thank you for watching this video and be sure that we will be with you in this journey to turn your dreams into reality. Keep up there and write your story. I'll see you at the next one. Bye for now.